Hey there, welcome to Woohoo Wednesday. So this week we want to talk to you about polarities. Polarities are positive opposites. They are values or goals that can be complementary, but they can also create positive tension. And sometimes they can create negative tension. The easiest way to think about this is some of you want to have a really active social life, but you also want to live a really healthy life. The positives of a healthy life we can all come up with. When you live too healthy, you might be kind of bored, you might not be social, you might hang out at home. So then you go, oh, I want to have a more social life. And then you go out and you might be partying and hanging out and eating bad food or drinking too much wine. And the downsides are then you go and you try to get rid of all of that lifestyle and try to go home and watch Netflix and go to the gym and get plenty of sleep. And then you go on this roller coaster. And a lot of us overcorrect. And we do it in our personal lives, but we especially do this in corporate America or just multinational companies around the world. We see it all the time. And especially as it relates to innovation. We talk to leaders and they say they want two positive opposites and they want both. And they are not willing to understand that they have trade-offs. There are trade-offs to having more of one or more of the other. And when a culture tries to achieve both ferociously, it can burn out. But there is an opportunity to do that with flow and to have both with flow and intentionality. And so simply showing you is probably the easiest way to demonstrate this. So I did two examples for you, and then I will talk to you about how you can apply it inside your company. Here you go. Okay, so let's start with a polarity around things that you want in your culture. You want two positive opposites. And let's say two things that you really want, but they have trade-offs when you have too much of each of them are you want speed and you want good service. So you want ideas that help you get products to customers fast, and you want to deliver great service. Now, what are the benefits of speed? Well, you can reach more customers. You can make more money, more profit, possibly. You can have more efficiencies with your team. Your team's time goes by faster. And it could be easy to train because you're doing things that are pretty quick and you're doing them over and over and over again. Now, what happens when you have too much speed? Too much speed. And if you think about a restaurant or you think about a department store or you think about anything, what happens when you have too much speed? What are the negative effects of too much speed? You go down through the polarity. The negative effects are maybe feeling impersonal, feeling rushed, employees feeling like they're robots, employees feeling like they don't really need any skill, maybe burnout because they're going so fast, maybe quality issues because of risk. So then you say, oh wow, we have all this stuff happening, we have to course correct. So we're gonna go up here, we wanna get more what? Well, we want more personalization, maybe more customization, so they feel more special. These are pluses. Maybe employees can take a breath. Maybe it's in a more enjoyable job. Maybe they feel more connection with the customers. And maybe you have a lot more kind of complicated products because you've got more time for these products. Okay, what happens when we have too much of this? Too much personalization, too much customization, too much time to connect, too much fun. The company says, oh, no, too much, we're doing too much. We want to course correct because the negative impacts of all of these things are we are pokey. We have too few customers. They are getting frustrated with us. Lower sales, lower profit. Our employees are fed up because it's too complicated. So then what happens? We course correct and we go up this way. And we get to more efficiencies. We move faster. We make things that are easier to train. We have easier concepts. So you see what happens. Now the goal is that you are always going to have these polarities, but you want to have basically a more narrow infinity loop so that this can flow, so you can have speed and service. Okay, so let's look at values and how you can have competing values that are polarities. So let's say you want to be long-term visionaries, but you also want to be short-term agile or reactive. Okay, so obviously there are a lot of benefits of being long-term visionaries. You can be emotive to your team, you can be inspirational, you can pursue breakthrough innovations, you can break boundaries. It's highly motivational. You can recruit people with your vision. And it sets kind of a big, giant, hairy goal to chase, right? Okay, let's say we're too focused on the visionary part. We're only talking about our vision and our long-term goals. What are the downsides of that? Well, we might not get anything done. Maybe it's too airy-fairy. It's not tangible. And people lose motivation. And they don't see what's in it for me, for example. A lot of people want to know what's in it for them short term. So then how do we course correct? We go, oh, well, we go to things that are specific goals, things that are achievable, things that are realistic. And we go to things that give us short-term satisfaction, that we can go home feeling like we accomplished something. And those are all of the benefits of being short-term and agile. What are the negatives of being too short-term, agile, and reactive? So you're super on trend or following trend, but you are getting too much what? You might be getting too lazy from an innovation perspective. You might be bored. You might be followers. You might not be motivating these innovators. You might be dangerously chased by the competition, or they might be beating you. So then what do you do to course correct? You go to these big, hairy goals. You go to this inspiration and vision to try to get everyone all excited. And then you go through the wheel again. And so you do not need to be on the roller coaster. You can have both. The thing is, you have to catch yourself when you're going into these big swings. As a leader, you have to identify what are the markers that catch you before you go down into these negative spaces. And when you're starting to overcorrect, how do you catch yourself so you don't go up here, that you can stay here? And then you will have more flow. You'll have fewer people burning out. You'll have higher retention. You'll have more engagement. You'll be successful in the long run. I know this is a longer video this week, but I thought it was useful to show you some innovation goals and then some cultural values and how polarities and using a polarity map can help your team. So you can do this with any positive tension elements, whether they're values or innovation goals or marketing goals. And then you can map those. You can really use it on anything, but they're helpful in having a conversation with your team about how you might overcorrect, where that can create confusion or burnout, and how you can get into that flow. If you need help, let us know. Have a great week.